Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to do flow of control. Okay, so not flow of control, sorry, flow control, whatever, flow of control. Okay, basically in Python or any programming language or anything you want to do with computers, there are basically three ways in which you can control how you want to execute stuff. Okay, three ways. I'll tell you what they are. Three ways. First one is iterative or sequential, not iterative, sorry, sequential. Then you have conditional or selectional. You know what, let's name it selectional. And then you have iterational. Okay, sequential meaning line by line. I think you can understand that line by line is known as sequential. Selectional meaning either this or that, meaning a select part of a code, select part of something, that is known as selectional. Then iterational meaning over and over, execution over and over, over and over again, over and over again, on some selection, on some condition. This is known as iterational. Basically now sequential is your normal line by line code. Selectional is if statements, and iterational is your loops. Okay, I hope you understood this. Not required to know it by heart, just know what it is. Nobody will ask you any question on this, you should know this, that's it. What we are going to do is we are going to know selectional state. Okay, before doing that, let me tell you block. What's a block of statements? Block of statements in Python. How do you represent a block, or how do you represent statements which belong to something? Okay, let's say you have an if statement or some, or a for statement or anything. A set of statements should come inside that. So you have your statement 1. Okay, this is your main statement. After this, what you give is you give a colon. There's no space, I'm just showing you. There's a colon. Then you give 4 spaces, or this is equivalent to 1 tab. Okay, and then you give statement 1, then you give the block of statements, all in the same indent. This is known as an indent. What the hell, bro? Password changed or something? Well, this also password changed. Shit. Ayyo. What stupid? What? Never mind. Okay, block of statements, and all the other blocks will come in that. Okay, so for example, I'm just using example. If run, let's say run is equals to true. I'll make you understand all of this. If run, then print hi, print hello. Notice how I'm giving the indent. Then let's say if I want to come out of it, all I have to do is come back to this indent. Else, or like print ran. That's it. Okay, this is this is the block. Okay, this is your block. I hope this is understood, and that's how it is. And now simple block meaning, now if you want to do nested meaning one inside the other. Okay, nested blocks. What you'll give? Same to same, bro. Now you give statement 1. Okay, then you give maybe your block of code, block of statements. Then maybe you have one more statement 2. Then you give one more column, then one more block of statements. You can keep on doing this in Python endlessly. It's not practiced though. Obviously, it doesn't make so much sense to just keep on going inside ifs and for and what and whatnot. So maximum you'll see is 4 to 5, bro. As far as I've seen, even in my code, I've written like in a block, let's say in a function, you have to indent all of them for that function. Then in that function you have an if, so all of that you have to indent again. Then inside that if you have one more if, again you will indent. So basically you have your statement, this is your block, then you have one more statement, you can have then one more statement 3 also you can have. Notice how I'm leaving gap over here. This is equivalent to 4 spaces in Python. So this will become 8 spaces. Simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Understood? You don't need to show that when you're writing. You just need to know this is how it works. Nested block are basically known as complex statements. Complex. It should be complex statements. Not complex. Compound sentence it is. Oh, never mind. This is not compound. Block itself is known as compound statements. Compound statements. Okay, fine. Now let's come to sequence, selection and iteration. You don't need to know the definitions, nobody will ask. So let's just come to sequence, meaning what? Line by line, you know that I've written. So now let's come to selection. In selection you have if, elif and else keywords. You're going to play with these keywords. Okay, now there are many ways of writing these if statements, but since there's not much time, I'll just tell you the basic way of writing. Okay, well, we have 3 statements: if, elif, else. These keywords, what we can do is basically this is your condition. We have 3 types of if statements. Now I'll just say first type is if, means a simple if. Okay, syntax would be if, that's it, if and then condition. Okay, syntax would be if, condition, and then you have your block. Okay, this is simple if. Then you have something known as if else. Basically there's an if and an else, that's it. Syntax would be, I'll tell you why this is important a bit later. If, condition, you have your block, then you have your else. See, notice the indentation how I'm going, else, then you have your block. Then you have if, else, if else, if, or if else, elif, maybe if elif, if, you can think like that also. Basically if it is not if it is not, oh my god, if it is not simple if, and if it is not if else, it is going to be the third one, which is if, elif, if, also known as if with elif. In this you can have either else or you know what, I'm only making one name, you take that, and if it makes sense, it makes sense. If, elif, that's it. Okay, basically there are 2 types. Your first type is with else. Okay, syntax for this is, you have your if condition, block, you have elif condition. You know what, this is becoming way too crowded. Won't look nice also. Okay, if with else, okay, if with elif, so first one is with else. So you have your if, you have your syntax. Okay, you have your if condition, block, elif. Basically elif stands for else if. I forgot to write that, I'll write that. You have else. You have one more block. Else, elif is basically else if. Okay, basically elif. Okay, when do you use conditions is, so the entire point of this writing conditions is so that we can control how we write our programs. If something is there, you want to, like, if a number is even, you want to do something. If a number is odd, you want to do something. If a number is a multiple of 5, you want to do something. If it is not, you want to do something. If it is not, if the same number is a multiple of 5, you want to do something. If it's a multiple of 3, you want to do something. If it's a multiple of 2, you want to do something. If it is other than this, you want to do something else. That all of these you can use if elif, if else. If elif, else. You have one condition and only you need to check for that condition. Simple if. You have one condition and if it is not that, you want to do something else, then you'll use if else. Then you will use if elif. If there are multiple conditions you want to check for, if none of them match, you will use the else, or you can use it just like this without an else also. That's it, with and without else. It will be the same to say without the else. That's it. So simple. Okay, without else. Simple as that. You just check for the conditions. Okay, so basically this is how it works. Python will first, if at all, if statements is encountering, Python will first search for the if statement. If it is there, it will run. Now if it finds an elif, it has to be matched with an if. Okay, if the if is not present and only elif is there, it's an error. Basically if is standalone, elif is not standalone, else is also not standalone. If you're writing elif, if you're writing else, there has to be an if statement first. Okay, did you understand that? There has to be a if statement in the first. So basically if is very important. Okay, note, always if statement must be present. Okay, it has to be present. There's no going other ways. The if statement has to be present. Okay, now because I'm saying this because errors can come up. Now you learned all these three types. Let us do a few questions. Okay, first let me do one question for you. Okay, you have to write a program to input two numbers and display largest number. Most simple, everyone will give this one. Okay, now listen to me when I am going to say how do you solve questions in Python. This is not only for if, not only for this concept, but in entire Python. How do you actually solve the questions? Okay, now you do this 3-step thing which I'm telling you. First, Okay, now this comes under a very nice box. I'll do that later, but okay, first I'll write it before only. Okay, you know what, I'll just like keep this somewhere else. Now first you have to do is solving code problems. First you have to do is identify your input. Identify your input also includes you identifying whether there is an input or not. Sometimes you do not need an input, like it will be display the series, or display something like this. Okay, identify your input. So your first thing you have to do. Then also identify your output from the question. You have to do this so that you do not miss out anything. Okay, this is from the question, you can get these. Okay, here only it is written, see, to input two numbers, display the largest one. These two parts you got from the question. Now third one is formulate a logic in your head. I'll tell you how you have to do it. See, when you're drawing, first you have an outline, no? It's not like you just simply start out drawing. No, you have an outline. You'll try matching the contours with that. You'll try drawing it. You'll try connecting dots. You might first draw dots maybe, or lines, just to give you an idea of the paper you're drawing on. Later you may erase it, that's fine, or you might not erase it and becomes part of the design. But nobody just goes on starting just like that. Okay, come, let's draw. Oh, there's one mountain over here, there's a mountain over here. No, nobody does that. First you have like a line, then on these a mountain will come, then maybe between this a sun will come, then on this landscape maybe over here water is over here, so you maybe draw a shore, this side water, this side land, then you have maybe trees on this land. All of this use it and plan. Correct? When you draw something, same here also, you have to formulate a logic. Now how would I formulate logic? You will try understanding once you start coding and once you do questions. This one thing comes only with doing questions. There is no other go. Okay, now let's do this kind of question and now see how I think. And this, I know it's a simple question, but just see how I think, and this is how you have to think for every other question. First what you do is you identify the input two numbers, output, display the largest one. Okay, two numbers are there. How do I check if they are largest or not? I'll check. I know an operator known as greater than, less than. Okay, and in real life also I'll just check how will, if at all in real life also you got two numbers. If I ask you, hey Srishti, 1 is bigger than 2 or 2 is bigger than 1, what you'll do, you'll think, okay, 2 comes after 1, 2 is bigger than 1. How did you do that? You thought about the number line. Or if you didn't think about the number line, you might have think, okay, the greater sign, less sign, where will it come? So all of this you will think, then you will say, okay, I have an, now once you have thought it how you will do it in real life, you will try to do it in programming world. Everything what you do when you think in the real life is given in the programming world. Everything is there, or you can write it in such a way that it is in a programming world. You can do it. Okay, it's not a very hard task. It is possible. Okay, now two numbers are there. I want to check if it is largest or which of them is larger. I know that one operator exists greater than. Now I'll know, this is how I thought. Now I have the input with me. So start input two numbers. What will I input two numbers? So A is equals to, how will I input enter a number. Correct? Okay. Now B, taking one more number, input two numbers. So input enter another number. Now At this point, I'll write what? I'll write my condition. If a greater than b, I know that a is the larger number, so I'll print large, comma a. Why am I using comma say? What's this default separator? Space, correct? So large like this and a space, it will come a. Now if a is not greater than b, there are two conditions possible now. If either a is equivalent to b or b is greater than a. We just need to display the largest number irrespective of whether both are same or not same. So I just write else. Even if a is not greater than b, but if it is equal to, we are not checking for equal to, I'll just write else. Anything else other than a greater than b, I know that b will be greater. So print largest what? B. This is your entire program. But if you have been learning correctly, doing everything nicely, you would have found one error in this. Think and tell me. Think, and then if at all, actually this one, you pause the video, you think what error might be here, and then you tell me in chat what might be the error. Pause and tell. I hope you thought, and I think you got the error, or if you didn't get also, no problem, it's learning. The error is in the first two lines. Okay, first of all. And why? Because we know that input gives a string, and we are trying to compare for what? Numbers. Exactly. So what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to convert each of these strings into numbers. And how do you do that? Typecasting. You just give int of. That's it. Here also same. Int of. Enter another number. Simple. Now this program will work. Okay. So always formulating the logic. Inside formulating a logic, you have to look at a few key points. First one, data types. What are the data types you are working with? Okay, you need to know the data types you are working with. Then operations and their data types. Always I told you, data types is what is most important. If you can identify that correctly, your half job is done. Okay, you need to know their data types. You need to know the data types, and you need to know the operations you're doing and the data types used for it. A and B, when you just write input a number, number you're taking, but input gives a string, so you should convert it to int. Now you're doing an operation greater than. This without giving int is a string. This is also a string. It will work, but it will be an error. Exactly correct. It will become, because it just let's say if I have, for strings, if I have to check 1, 2, 3 is greater than 2. This is, false. Say why? 2 ka ASCII value comes after 1. So it only checks for the first one. Then what will happen? 2 is obviously greater than 1, 2, 3 according to strings logic, right? Oh, also one more thing which I didn't tell in strings is, if at all you're checking, I think you would have figured this out, 2, 2, 3 with, let's say, 23. Which is bigger? 23 is bigger. Why? 2 and 2 it will check, it is same. Okay, if it is same, it will go to the next character. Okay, if the next character does not exist, then this is bigger. Obviously 2 is bigger than nothing there, no? But 2 to 3 is bigger than 2, but 2 to 3 is not bigger than 23. This is string logic. Okay, fine. Now let me try, if you can, let us see if you can write this. Write a program to input 2 numbers. Your this is also a question only, and I'll write the answer. Input 2 numbers and check which is smallest. Pause it, write the entire code on your own, don't look up and don't go previous 3 seconds. If you can, do it, otherwise you obviously have the option to. I am not blocking you from it. And tell me, and then write the code. Now I'll write, you check it. Okay, a int input, a I'm just giving, okay, b int input, b, if a less than b, print small is. If it is only check what is there inside your main things, okay, don't check what I've written, print in the print what I've written. That not really. If your logic is fine, everything is perfect. If a is less than b, then a can be equal also. We don't care about that, right? Else, if a is not less than b, then b is less than a. So small is b. This is my code. It should work. Okay, fine. Now one more code you write. You write this input two numbers. Write a program to input two numbers and display largest and smallest. Display largest and smallest of the two, but there's another condition. If both are same, print their sum. I know it went a bit complex, but I hope you can try this. Okay, pause it, write it. If you want, code it out in your laptop, but try to get an answer. If you're not understanding, then come back here. Okay, now pause the video, go. I hope you were able to do it. Now see how I will do it. Okay, what's your input? Two numbers. What's your output? Over here two outputs are there. Display the largest and the smallest of the two. This is your first time, but if both are same, print their sum. Now traditionally, if you want, you could do like this. You can do like this also. Okay, you know what, just going to copy this. Not too much time happening. Copy the same thing I'm writing. Okay, I took two numbers input. Now you could write, okay, now display the largest smallest. Now if a greater than b, I can print the largest one as a and I can print the smallest one as b. But you know something, this condition works only if a is greater than b. Correct, super. Now else b will be less than a. Else, yeah, if it is else, basically a can be equal to b or b is greater than a. Then I can print large is what, b, smallest will be a. Now they have given one special condition for us. If both are same, print their sum, but we are never checking for it. So either what you can do is, if a greater than b, a is largest, b is small. You can give now something known as elif. Elif b greater than a. Now you're giving a certain condition. B has to be greater than a. Now we have checked for a greater than b. We have checked for b greater than a. What's the only thing left? If a is equal to b. So that comes under else. Or if you want to be specific, you can give elif a equal to b. There is no problem in doing this. You can do this, or you can just write else, because you know there's nothing else there. So print sum a plus b. You can do that in print statements. It will just evaluate and give you. Okay, I hope you understood. Now there's a different way of writing this entire program. Okay, I'm just writing from here. Now what I'll do is I'll just say if a equal to b. I am checking first only if a is equal to b. Then I'm going to print the sum a plus b. Now what I'll do is I'll just write L if a greater than b. Then I know a is greater than b. Large a, small b. All I can do is I can just give else over here. Simple. Say why? A equal to b is already checked for. If a is greater than b, we know. So always the last thing which is left is what? B should be greater than a. B cannot be equal to a because already checked. So I'll just do print large is b, small is a. Same only, but you see how I'm structuring the logic. Okay, I hope you got this. Fine. Now I'll give you one question. Think, okay, you have to really think for this. Okay, write a program to input two numbers and find the largest using simple if. Why did I tell you all those? Is because of this only, this one question, simple if. Basically you're not supposed to use else. They have given it that you cannot use else and any other. Okay, try doing. It's a tough one because you have to think a lot. If you can get it, great, amazing. You have better logic than me because I was not able to do this. But this one question will tell you how programming can be made fast and easy. This one question. Okay, try, pause the video, go now. Now I will tell the answer. Okay, I'm telling the answer in 3, 2, 1. In programming, there are basically two ways of doing. I mean, majorly I have seen there are two ways. First one is go the normal way. Okay, like try doing this, then that, and this. Then there's another way which is known as assumption method. Okay, basically in programming world, you can assume something as something, and then if you're wrong, if your assumption is wrong, you change it. Simple as that. Okay, so let's say you have an a int input a, b int input b. I'm just assuming the largest as a. I'm just assuming. Yes, I know that largest is a. Now if b is larger than largest, my assumption is wrong. So I'll make my largest as b. At the end, see where I'm putting the print statement outside the if. I'll just print largest. This is one of a very important way you have to know, and this can be used, this kind of method, largest is a. This is known as assumption method. Okay, you're assuming stuff. This is a type of way of thinking in programming language. This is assuming. This is a very important line. Please do note, you're assuming largest is a. If your assumption turns wrong, then you change your assumptions. Simple. Your entire code comes down in length when you assume stuff. Okay, this is a very nice method, and if you tell you have a tight grip over it, you can write fantastic codes which people cannot even think of. And I'll tell you why this assumption method is very nice for the next question. Okay, now try doing this question. Write a program to, now your input is changing, right, to input 3 numbers, complexities, and display the largest number. Try doing this whichever way you want. And also, if your way doesn't match, oh my god, if your way doesn't match with me, don't worry. Write the code in Python, execute it, run few test cases, give a large value, small value, large value, both same value, negative value. Give them, run it, and check what happens to your code. Okay. Now, input 3 numbers and display the largest number. I'm giving the answer. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Now your first way would be what? Normal method. This I've never written the code in my entire life because I've always done the assumption method. Okay, so your first method would be taking 3 numbers. I'm just writing ABC. Okay, please write the input statements, but ABC are 3 numbers. If A greater than B, and you can use logic call operator over here, and A greater than C, we know that definitively in this answer A is the largest. Yeah, print largest A. Same thing you can do for B and C also. If, okay, yeah, you can give elif over here. Why say? We know that A is done over here. Elif B is greater than A and B is greater than C. Print what? Print largest B. We know after that if statement definitely B is the largest. Okay, again elif only you can give elif C greater than A and C greater than B. We know definitively what? C is the largest. But your entire logic breaks down when 2 numbers are same. A and B are same, let's say. Now let us say which logic does it come to. If A greater than E, A and B are same, okay, false, and will obviously return false if one is false, so leave the other condition. And if B greater than A, do we know B is greater than A? No, it's not. B is equal to A here, so B is not greater than A, and is there, so leave the other condition. If C greater than A, might be, and C greater than B, might be. Let's say that C is not greater than A and B. So now if it doesn't come here also. Right? But then you know A and B have same value and the largest one is A or B, any of them. So now you have to check for them also. Understanding how problems will go, we'll get into how many problems. Now A and B can be same, A and C can be same, B and C can be same. So there are also 3 more other conditions you got. Okay, so how do we fix this? This is a very tedious process. Now what you can do is you can use the other method which I told you, assumptive method. Okay, this is known as assumption. You'll just see how easy it will become. Assumption. Now A, B, C you have. Okay, let us just assume my largest number is A. Now if B is greater than largest is equal to B. Now all you have to do is elif C is greater than largest. Oh no, you cannot give elif here. I'll tell you why. You know what? Let's keep elif and you'll understand. C is greater than largest. Largest is C. Print largest. Looks very simple, no? It is simple. That is the power of assuming in programming. Now let's take the same case. A and B are same and C is less than A and B. Largest is A. Okay, if B is greater than largest, no, A and B are same. If C is greater than largest, no. So your largest comes out to be right, A. Now imagine, oh no, sorry. Okay, now imagine A and C are same, but B is not the largest. Basically, if I'm taking A and 10, B has a 5, C has 10. Now see what happens. Largest is A, largest is 10. Okay. Is B greater than largest? 5 greater than largest? No. Is C greater than largest? No. You print 10. Correct. It works. But no. Whoa, then you could have, you can use elif. Wait, there is one particular case I'm forgetting where elif breaks down. I'm not able to get that. Okay. If B is greater than largest. This is the case. B is 20, C is 30. Now see what happens. A is the largest, okay. Is B greater than largest? Yes. So 20 will become largest. But since you have already executed this, elif won't get executed. Okay, so this is a property of elif. Did you understand? If any if else elif whatever that block is there, if one of them executes, it comes outside. If is executed, it comes out of the entire if elif else block. Okay, it doesn't go to elif also, it doesn't check also, it doesn't go to else also. Only up until you get a false, and then you continue, you can continue. Okay, so until and unless B is less than largest, C will never run only, this will never run only. So it will just print, it will just take largest equals to what? 20. This will become 20 and it will skip this and it will print the largest is 20. But that's wrong, right? So you want to check if C is also greater than largest, you just give two if statements. Now see, rather than this method, how is this method? Assumption method. Now you can see the power of assuming. I hopefully think you can see the power of assumptions. Okay, this is just an example test case for the elif part. Okay, now you write this code, and now basically if statements is basically that much only. You have to practice a lot, that's it. How do you write the if statements? Writing the if statement is an art on its own. Okay, now if statement you understood. Now see, the only thing I've been asking you is display. What the variation is, they'll say check if this is greater than that, and if this is greater than that, then do this. If this is not greater than that, then do this. Like if they say input first number, second number. If first number is greater than second number, add them. If second number is greater than first number, subtract them. Anything they can ask, any stupid logic they can ask, you should be able to write the logic for that. So where will you write the logic is inside the if statement, and you know the indent how it has to be. Okay, now let me just like search for a few questions and I'll give you that. Okay, do this. I'll just type the question. Okay, obviously it will be too bad for me to write it. Okay, so I have given you a few questions. I'm stupid to make it question. Basically, so now see, do these 4 questions. Did I ask you a question before? I think I did. No? All of them I did. Huh? Okay. So do these 4 questions. Oh my god. Write the code, send it to me, or like type the code, send it to me. Then when you're doing this 5th one, you just try to do it. You might or might not be able to do it. And whenever I find these kind of general codes, right, I will write a general code like this, make a note of it, because general code meaning what is, this particular program or this particular part of the code can be used in other programs where it might be like a hidden condition. Like write a number I've written here to check if it's a single digit or not. Okay, but now inside this question there is a logic that tells you how to get the last number of a digit. So whenever I find these questions, I'll write this is general code. Okay, many functions, many codes will come like this, which is one of this is whether it is single digit or not. There is a particular concept in this. Same concept is used in finding the number of digits in a number. Then you will also use it to find this kind of logic. You will also use it to find whether a number is prime or not. So many things are there, and then you will also prime or not. No, wait, this is not used for prime. It will be used for whether this number is palindrome or not. The palindrome is one other program which is there just like that. You have to know it. If it will be really good if you just by heart it and then write it in the program, in the question paper and in the answer sheet, because you'll know that it will work. Okay, only here and there variable name changing will be there. So nested if also, you know, right? Basically a if in an if. Then maybe I'll give you one question on nested if also. Okay, fifth one, if you can't do it, leave it. I'll just give you a question on nested if. Okay, so the sixth one is a nested if condition. Try doing all these and give me the answers. Okay, fine. Take care.